All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're tackling something that can totally revolutionize your automated testing: how to seriously supercharge your Selenium grid with Docker.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Are you just tired of wrestling with test setups that are painfully slow, way too complicated, and just eat up all your computer's resources? Yeah? If you're nodding along right now, you're in the right place, because we are about to fix that.
So, to really get why the new way is so awesome, we got to take a quick look back at how we got here. Let's talk about the old world, the evolution of our test environments. Way back when, it was all about physical machines. Super expensive, kind of clunky, and a nightmare to scale up. Then, around the mid-2000s, virtual machines showed up. And hey, that was a pretty big improvement. But now we're in the age of containerization. And trust me, it's a whole different ballgame. Now, don't get me wrong, VMs were a game changer for a while. Being able to run multiple different operating systems on just one machine, amazing. But, and this is a big but, as a lot of us found out the hard way, that convenience came with some serious baggage.
So what was the problem? Well, first off, they're heavyweight. I mean, each VM has to run a full guest operating system inside it. That means you're dealing with high costs for licenses, and it's just a massive drain on your machine's RAM and CPU. It was a huge bottleneck, slowing everything down.
And all that frustration, that's where things really start to get interesting. It led to a major turning point. People started asking, isn't there a lighter, faster way to do this?
Okay, this right here, this chart says it all. Just look at the difference. We're talking gigabytes for VM versus megabytes for a container. Startup time? Minutes versus seconds. It's a night and day difference. And why? Because containers share the host's kernel. The overhead is practically nothing. So you get all that great isolation without the massive performance hit. It's incredible.
All right, so containers are the answer. We've established that. But how do we actually use them? Well, that brings us to our main tool, Docker. Let's unpack this toolbox and look at the key concepts you gotta know. First thing you need to know about is Docker Hub. Honestly, the best way to think of it is like an app store. But instead of apps for your phone, it's an app store for your development environments. It's this huge online library full of pre-built blueprints or images for pretty much anything you can imagine. So I just mentioned images. What are they? An image is basically the blueprint. It's this lightweight little package that has everything you need to run a piece of software. I'm talking the code, the libraries, the tools, all of it, bundled up. Think of it as the master template. Okay, so if the image is the blueprint, then the container is the actual house built from that blueprint. A container is a live, running instance of an image. It's the thing that's actually alive and active, created from that template. This is where the magic happens. This is where your tests are going to run. Here's maybe an even simpler way to put it. Think of an image like a software installer, the setup file. And the container? That's the actual application running on your computer after you've double-clicked the installer. Makes sense, right? All right, theory's over. We've got the pieces. Now for the fun part. Let's see how we put them all together to build an entire Selenium grid with, and I'm not kidding, almost zero effort. So you could do this the hard way, the manual way. That means popping open your terminal and typing a whole bunch of complex commands, one to pull the image, another to set up a network, then a few more to launch each and every container one by one. I mean, sure, it works, but it's so tedious and it is so easy to make a typo and mess the whole thing up. Or, and you're going to love this, you could do it the easy way, the elegant way, using just one single simple text file called dockercompose.yml. This little file, it's the key to everything. Seriously, the process is beautiful. Step 1, you just define your entire grid, the hub, the Chrome browser, the Firefox browser, all of it in that one simple file. You just list what you need. Step 2, you go to your terminal and type one single command, Docker compose up. And that's it. That is literally it. Docker does the rest. The whole grid just springs to life. So let's just pause for a second. We've gone from clunky physical machines all the way down to a single command. What does this new reality actually mean for you, for your day-to-day work as a developer or a tester?
It means this. Seconds. That's what it means. The setup that used to take you minutes, or heck, maybe even hours back in the day. Now, it just launches. Instantly.
So let's nail down the key takeaways here, because this is what really matters. First, speed. You can launch a complete Selenium grid in just a few seconds. Second, simplicity. It's one file, one command, no more complicated scripts. Third, efficiency. You can run way more tests using way fewer of your computer's resources. And maybe the most important one, consistency. Every single person on your team gets the exact same perfect testing environment. Every single time. No more "it works on my machine" problems.
And that really brings us to the big question, the one I want to leave you with. Now that you know this is possible, now that you can spin up a complex, perfectly consistent test environment in seconds with basically zero friction, what does that free you up to do? What could you build or test or create with that kind of speed and power at your fingertips?